Now, I'm a huge fan of your jewelry. Do you have any favorite pieces that you would like to show?
You know what? I've got a couple of favorite pieces, and it's just because they meant quite a bit to me. Just kind of, there was something going through my mind when I was making them. I remember I actually made some of these pieces it was a theatrical pirate show that I was doing back in Omaha, Nebraska, just kind of during the time I was unemployed, and I was just doing acting and doing gigs and stuff like that. And I made these it was for a rowdy pirate group. They were called the Royal Pirates of Tortuga, and they were a pirate act that would perform for little kids, and we would perform for charity events and for people who were sick, and just just kind of go into this fantasy world and take these people into this magical pirate world where we were rowdy treasure hunters and adventurers, and it was really a lot of fun. And these were what I called Contessa's Amulets of Tortuga, which I ended up keeping. After I moved out here, they ended up recasting Contessa, and the amulets went with me, but I really enjoyed that time that I was involved in that. The chainmails, these were really amazing. I will never forget the late nights that I was up trying to figure out how to do these different weaves, and they were just so simple, but there's, I don't know, it's just this elegant simplicity in them and it really seems to be something. It's like a very simple piece that other people really seem to enjoy. The more complicated pieces were kind of more artistic statements. I'm really, really into, I guess, I don't really know if I would really want to call them like tribal kinds of pieces, but definitely kind of more of an ancient or old world piece. The art of wire wrapping originated in the Sumerian dynasty. So it was in ancient Mesopotamia, which was the civilization between two rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. They were one of the very first civilizations of mankind, and that's where the wire wrapping came into, and they would wrap pieces together with wire before they had mastered the ability to solder jewelry and to actually melt and cast it. So this is a very, very, very old technique of jewelry making. And so the real old world to me just kind of brings, for me, it makes me think of just our roots and just kind of where we all come from. And we all, came from these old ancient dynasties. The Sumerian dynasty were all the ancestors of, and that's where our ancestors are, and it's just a testament to how closely we are related to one another than anything. And it's a representation of where we all kind of come from, and I wanted to embody that in some of these different pieces, just kind of by their design. Some of them were just designed by imagination or a dream. This one was, I made this one really shortly after my grandmother passed away from breast cancer. It was my interpretation of the breast cancer. This bracelet, and so I made a piece. I guess a wire artist's, interpretation of the breast cancer ribbon, in the honor of both my grandmothers who both passed from breast cancer, and I guess in the name of countless other women that will be diagnosed and succumb until there's a cure. So I keep hoping for that every day.
Do you feel like when, as you're making that bracelet as in remembrance of your grandmother, do you feel like she was maybe there? So you kind of, had a spiritual...
Definitely. I definitely I had a dream about her really shortly before I made that bracelet, and it was actually very shortly after she passed that I had the dream about her. And I actually had a dream about her not too long ago, or she was telling me that everything was going to be okay. And yeah, she's very special, very, very special lady to me. So she's one of the women that I actually look up to in my life. My grandmother, she was definitely an artisan, but she was definitely the embodiment of feminine strength. So, yeah.
How did your family and friends feel when you decided you were going to leave?
My friends, by the time I had left, I had surrounded myself with friends who had very similar dreams to myself. The ones that weren't really supportive or anything like that were kind of ones that I just decided that, you know, it would be best to move on from one another, just because we didn't have the same, we didn't really have the same kind of visions or directions or in life. And my family wasn't happy about me moving out here. You know, every so often, you know, when I talk to, you know, family members from home, and, you know, they'll ask me how am I doing for money, and it's like, well, I'm broke, and I'll be like, oh, well, you can come home. And it's going to take a little bit more, I think, to make them believe. So, but I'm up for it. It's just going to take time.
It's going to take time making jewelry?
Take time making jewelry. You know, making jewelry, acting. I don't know what's going to happen out here. It's just about the ride. You know, I mean, there's when you really look at the big grand scheme of things and how many people are stuck in this existence that they're not really happy about, how many people really have the balls to, you know, pick up and leave everything that they know to try a new life. You know, not a lot of people do that. I mean, there's quite a few people that do, but the vast majority of people really don't. And I'm willing to give myself props for trying that. So anybody else out there who, you know, picks up and leaves their family and picks up and leaves their friends and just comes to a place where they know nobody and wings it on their own, I mean, got guts. And I mean, people will try to tell you differently, you know, you're crazy, or, you know, you're running for something, you're running from your responsibility. No, I mean, I disagree with that. It's really, I think it's really sometimes takes a lot more strength to actually own up to what you want rather than to just stay and live a complacent life in what you don't want.